everybody. Well, it was rough, just wrestling about what I was going to speak about. And so last night I was praying and I was asking the Holy Spirit, and I was like, I already had my speak, what I thought I was supposed to speak about, and I really felt the Holy Spirit said, why don't you talk about the first time you ever had depression? And so, I was about in my 20s, and I was in my house alone, and I was just standing there. And then all of a sudden, the biggest weight of despair and sorrow just hit me. It hit me like, I never in my life have I ever felt anything like this before. I never struggled with depression. I never had depression in my life. And in this moment, it was complete despair. And it was so, the pain was so hard that it felt like the pain alone I could die from the pain of the sorrow and the pain of the despair that I was feeling in that moment. So I just started crying. Tears just became fall down like rain, and I was crying so hard. And throughout my life, I always talked to God through the pain. And so I was crying out to God because I could never hurt myself or take myself out. But I knew that God, I had enough faith that God could make my heart stop and take me out. And so I had so much, I fell to my knees, crying my eyes out. And I crawled underneath my kitchen table, flat on my face. And I was sobbing my eyes out to God to make my heart stop. And I knew in that moment, God, you can take me. You can do this. And then in that moment, it was like all of heaven came down and came inside of me. And the tears that I were crying, they switched to joy. And it literally felt like I was in heaven, like heaven came down and was with me. And that was the first time that was the presence of God. So, I just want to encourage anyone who's out there and you feel the weight of sorrow and despair and you feel like you can't go another day, cry out to God, fall on your knees, get on your face before Him. And my children know, Matter Kauai, I don't make promises, but I can promise you now that heaven will come in and heaven will completely transform you. Jesus said, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will open. For anybody that asks, it will be given. You don't stop asking until you have it. He said anyone that seeks will find. You don't stop seeking until you find it. For anyone that knocks, the door will open. Jesus said, I stand at the door and I knock. The door that Jesus is at, there's only one doorknob, and it's not on His side, it's on yours. And He's there, and He's knocking, and He's asking you to ask, to open it. So I believe with all of my heart, whatever you're going through, whatever the future holds, if you remember this right here, right now, if you get on your knees and you cry out to God with a sincere heart, full of faith and sincerity, I know without a shadow of a doubt come down and will transform your life forever. And I'm here to tell you today, I have never experienced depression. As long as I've lived after that, it's been over 20 years, and I've never experienced depression like that again. So, thank you.